Welcome back. It's Tasso 23 here, back again with some knife therapy. And today's knife I'm kind of excited about. I think it's got a lot going for it. This is the Hogue Deka. This guy comes in at $140, give or take. In this variation, you can also get it in several other variations like black scales with stonewash blade. This is the Damascus with the blue-black G10, and they also have a murdered out one. And the coated blade ones are a little upcharge. I don't really recall offhand, but they definitely have a bunch of different variations of it if this blue and black doesn't suit your needs. But this is what it comes in. Standard Hogue knives box, made in the great US of A. There's your model number. And there's your pause and read stuff. It's got the able lock. Their play on the axis lock. And it also comes in this cool little sleeping bag right here. Small, just enough to fit the knife. Very, very cool. And this is usually something you get, on a little bit higher end of knives. But Civivi offers those too, so. All right, let's get into this guy. This is basically more of a first impressions because I haven't got to do my testing with it yet. So once I get that stuff done, I'll do a full-on review of this knife. But I think this knife it could be a possible game changer and a very popular one for Hogue, being that it exceeds some of these other knives, and I'll show you some of those in a second, and we'll talk about that. Let's get a close look at this beautiful clip point blade. I absolutely love the blade shape. It's got a nice, like a polished stone wash on there that Hogue does. You got the Hogue USA, the knife, the model Deka right there. Flip it over on this side. It's a Alan Elishwitz design. So in collaboration with him, he does a lot of designs with Hogue. And there's your blade steel, CPM 20 CV. It's got a nice top swedge that thins out your point just a little bit. So you got some piercing power right there. You do have some jimping that I'd call it medium traction. It'll grab onto the thumb. It's not super grippy because they have rounded over the tops of those, as you can see, but it is wide, so your meat of your thumb does get some traction when you push down on there. You have dual thumb studs, and they're not just plain Jane thumb studs. It kind of looks like a biohazard sign or something. And let's see. Yeah, I'm sure they're removable. Let's close this guy up. You have, they call it their Damascus. I guess like, a Damascus form of G10 are looking. And you can see it's got like these grooves, like where these lines are, that's grooves. I don't know if you can pick it up on the camera, but you got some like grooves milled out this way. So it's basically blue-black layered G10, pretty thick G10 as well. And you have the filler tab right there for tip up, left or right hand carry. One thing that I did notice, look at all the hardware on here. You got these two screws here, and then you got 1, 2, 3. You got 3 hourglass standoffs right there. And then you got your pivot, and then you got this stuff. You got tons of screws on this guy because it's going to be the same on this side. So that's a thing. Black coated. There's their able lock, the same as the thumb stud. As you can see, the same design, and the same design on the pivot. Like that pivot, it's a nice decorative style looking pivot, and it looks like a T8 in there. That's nice and crisp, so that should be good. And it looks like I'll have to get back to y'all, but it looks like it might be T8 on the body screws as well. If so, that's awesome. Got a lanyard hole for all you lanyard people out there. It's not a deep carry clip, but not that much sticking out. I'm fine with that. I did put it in and out of the pocket. It does function good, and there's not too much of a ramp up here to where I'm feeling it. I was worried. Usually I'm not a fan whenever the clip's not centered in the middle, but I'd rather it be down here than up here, because up here I tend to get hot spots, and lower down it tends just to cradle. No matter how hard I squeeze on this guy, I don't feel the pocket clip. Your mileage may vary depending on the size of your hands, and I will get back to y'all after I've done my testing so I can really bear down on the knife and let you know how it feels. You got nice, decently thin blade stock. Let's see what the blade stock is on this guy. Yep, 0.093, so I think that's about the same as a Bugout. Let's see, you have that inset liner type, inset stainless steel piece that allows their able lock to sit in there, so you're not trying to use a G10 for that. Rigid G10 being that's nice and thick. The action on mine is nice and smooth out of the box. Very, very nice, and it literally is not even broken in yet, and I can pretty much get it to fall shut. Action's on it good. I can spidey flick it if I want. I can do the normal flip out, or I'm sure I can use, if I can do it behind the camera. I can't do it behind the camera, but I'm sure I can do that as well. The scales, they aren't contoured, but they feel pretty good in hand. I just noticed that, look how high that sticks up off the scale. The pocket clip screws. I mean, not something I feel in my hand whenever I'm squeezing it, because my pinky sits on top of it, but I mean, I don't feel it. They do have somewhat of a sharpening job, but they did miss it. Let's see if I can get my pen so I can show you this. I just don't understand. Oh, I don't understand why so many companies get this wrong. You can see the line right here from the plunge line, and they missed it. It should have went to at least probably about right here. So missed it by a little bit. Something I'll probably have to fix, because that just bugs me so bad. But this knife right here, I think, is definitely going to give some of our U.S. companies a big run for their money, especially Benchmade. If this thing holds up after my testing, the blade, the heat treated on it's good, the 20 CV, I definitely think Benchmade is going to have, a good competition with the Deka. Let's get a quick weight on this guy, and then we're going to kind of talk about some of those competitive options to this knife. Watch this. 2.57 ounces, super lightweight. And just so y'all know, 2.57 ounces, I think it said. And that is a 3 1/4 inch blade, so definitely under that ounce and inch for blade length, and a total of about 7 3/8 total length. So it's about a medium size. It's perfect for what I like to carry. And I think the biggest competition for this guy right here is this one, Benchmade Bugout. My buddy Tyler from EDC Gear Reviews, he's I think one of the first to put this knife on his channel, and he made this comparison too, and I definitely see it. They're the exact same length, somewhat similar belly on the knives. Just, definitely going to be competitor to this guy, and in another part of the Benchmade line, I guess you could say the 940, but the 940 is, a little bit bigger, longer, that is. But the Benchmade right now, the standard version without the coated blade, like, let's just try to get these as close as possible. The standard version is, let's see, $119, and that's S30V, non-coated, plastic handles, and this is G10 with 20 CV. 119, 140, okay? But if you want to get G10, this is G10 S30, and this guy right here is 175. So that's a pretty big jump. But let's keep it to the Bugout, because the Bugout is, you know, pretty much identical size and everything. They're coming out with a Bugout, a special run Bugout with 20 CV blade steel, same as this. G10 scales, same as this. And that bad boy, let's see, I wrote it down. That bad boy is $195. So I definitely think this is a great bang for your buck, especially, like I said, if it holds up, you know, after all my testing and stuff. I definitely think, you know, if you don't like the Bugout, you like this design more, you know, they cut somewhat similar. My Bugout, watch, we'll do the behind the edge thickness, because look, they got about the same, if not the same exact, they got really close to the same blade stock thickness. So I was cutting a bunch of stuff a little while ago, and let's see, it's hard to do this behind camera, but I try to get it. 22 thousandths right behind the edge. Let's see, let's get another spot. And 22 thousandths back here. Now let's check the deck out. And this is my particular knives. Yours may be a little different, the way they grind it or the way they sharpen it. 20 thousandths. Let's check up here in the front. Oh, it's so hard to do this behind the camera. 20 thousandths. Yeah, about 20 thousandths. So it seems that the Deka is a little bit thinner ground than the Bugout. So like I said, if this guy holds up, you know, and I don't find any major glaring problems, whew, I think you definitely could have a Bugout killer on your hands. Now that's if, you know, you don't like one brand over the other. I don't really care. I just like quality knives that do it for me. I tell you, the Bugout, I absolutely love it. But I haven't started really carrying this one yet, and I think it could give it a good run for its money. They both, to me, are attractive knives. And let's get some other options. Let's go to another company. You got Spyderco, and let's just say this is the standard Para 3. They're about the closest in price. Sorry about that. I just realized y'all weren't in frame. You got the Para 3, standard Para 3 is 133. So 133, that's S30V and G10. And but you can get, I don't know if they're still available, but sometimes they have the exclusives. I found the M390 in G10, that's the DLT exclusive one, and that one's 146. So $146 difference, you know. I don't think that's that big of a deal. You do get a little bit bigger of a knife with the Deka though. And then this one, not really the best comparison as far as price, but this is another USA made, the ZT0609. Now the 0609's got the titanium, the contoured titanium scale, so this one's $200+ and 20 CV. So there you go. The ZT is a little bit bigger than the Deka. Okay, and a non-US model that is very close in size and, you know, appearance is the steel wheel mini Tasso. Now I will say the Deka has a little bit more grip area, being that this is such a pronounced thick choil right there. You have a little bit more blade length on the Deka. And this guy is a M390 and contour G10. They both have, you know, pretty much, this is an ant lock. It's a little bit different. It's like a modified back lock, but they both have like the same like pull style locking system. And this guy right here comes in at $160, but you do have to take into account that this one has a new locking mechanism, and it has 3D contoured G10. So the G10 is more comfortable in this guy, but I will tell you one thing, the M390 on this guy, that so far I've sharpened this three times maybe, and it hasn't held a good edge whatsoever. That's my certain knife. Maybe yours will be better, but mine hasn't been that great at holding an edge. So let's hope this one's done right. Action's excellent. It's riding on phosphor bronze washers in there. Very, very smooth. That's another option if American doesn't really matter to you. That's another good option, you know. So there you go. There's all my options out there for y'all. Overall, I like the knife. I'm looking forward to carrying it. The only things I noticed right off back is that like the sharpening choil right there is missed. Came super sharp. That's one thing. Ooh, very sharp. They did a good job on it so far, from what I can tell. It does have a little stick. That's something I can fix. It did come super smooth. It doesn't. I did notice that the springs, the Omega springs, or whatever type of springs, I think it's Omega springs they use on this, aren't as strong as Benchmade's. I can't sling a Benchmade out as easy. Let's see, I could probably, yeah, it's hard for me to fling a Benchmade out. This one, I can, if I wasn't on camera, I could do it a lot easier. It's not gonna open in my pocket, but it's not as snappy as the Benchmade's springs are, but that's not a downfall. That's not something that I dislike, just something I would share. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them down below. Let me know what you think about this knife. Do you think it could take the place of one of those knives I've showed y'all? I don't think it's gonna take the place of my Bugout, because I thoroughly enjoy carrying that one, but it can definitely be, an alternate whenever I'm swapping knives out for the week. If you own this knife, let me know what you think. If you've been using it, let me know how yours is held up. That's something I can't wait to do, is to do my normal tests on the knife and see how it holds up. I think I might actually test this alongside my Bugout and maybe one of my Paras, just to see how they handle each other. And maybe if y'all want to see that video, I will record it. All right, guys and girls, hope everybody's having an absolute wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.